Guys, did you know today's Warren Buffett's birthday? August 30th, day of...
How old is Warren Buffett?
Let's find out.
I thought he was dead. I thought he died last year.
No. That's Charlie Munger. They are friends. Well, they were friends.
They were.
And kind of both in the same investment
Warren
world.
Buffett is 94 today.
Incredible.
Wow.
Doesn't look a day over 92.
Born in 1930.
That's crazy.
1930. He actually does look really good for 94.
He does. He absolutely does.
What's his secret?
McDonald's, actually. He eats McDonald's every single day for breakfast. He lives in his,
Man.
I was
wanna
reading
know
about
his
him before
exact
we
order.
started. That's a great question. I bet it's online
Yeah, I
somewhere.
bet it
You got
is.
it?
Yeah, I got it. His McDonald's order, $2.95. Well, it's probably more than that now, to be
Definitely more
honest.
than that now.
Sausage McMuffin with egg and cheese and a Coke.
And a Coke?
And a Coke.
Wow.
Not a Diet Coke.
Nope.
Give him all of it.
Straight sugar.
It says he's the largest shareholder in Coca-Cola, so he's just
is.
supporting his.
Yeah.
It's
supporting
going right back in his
investments.
pocket.
Yeah.
Wait, that's
So
kind of awesome.
sausage
That's really
McMuffin, egg and cheese. You will live till 94.
94. That's the secret. And live in the same house that you
Just live in the same house.
Do you guys know I went to a shareholders meeting one time with my dad.
For Berkshire Hathaway?
Yeah.
That's
when I was
That's
a kid,
Uh-huh.
I think I don't know.
You were in the same room.
Same
as
room.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah, he spoke.
He ate McDonald's that morning, probably.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Guaranteed.
I for sure did not. But yeah, my dad took me, I'm trying to remember. I was teenager, like 15, 16 maybe. I'm trying to remember if I still had braces. That's how I count in
how
my
old
head,
you were.
how
How
old I
old
was.
you were is when you got your
Yeah,
braces
yeah.
off?
But it was, I had no idea what
Yeah,
we were
did you
doing
know
there.
you were
No. I mean, I
in the
knew
presence of Warren Buffett.
I knew who he was, and my dad and I talked about it and that kind of stuff, but I had no idea really. And we just sat through the conference. It was really great from what
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, let's talk about Warren Buffett some more today.
Okay.
That's fun.
Okay, so you guys, you mentioned the market cap.
Oh,
Like,
are we
do you
just
want
going?
to? I don't know. I mean, do you want to? What do you want
No
to?
dumb questions? We're doing welcome to no dumb questions, or we don't have to.
Yeah, guys, welcome to No Dumb Questions.
There it is.
Well, it has been a long.
It has
It's
been a minute.
long week. It's been a long week.
We scour the internet for personal finance questions that we think don't get answered enough, but today we're pivoting and we're just talking about Warren Buffett and how his company has developed in the market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm Regan.
I'm Isaac.
I'm Ashton. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Warren
Happy
Buffett.
birthday,
Happy
Warren
birthday.
Buffett. I think it's very on par. We didn't even know that
No,
until we
yeah,
started the
that's
episode,
awesome.
which is really cool. But yeah, Berkshire Hathaway, just like before we get into anything else, who Warren Buffett is.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett is an investor who just kind of started investing at a young age. And his entire, the reason it's so cool it hit $1 trillion is, if you look at the top market caps, which we'll get into what market cap is here in a second, it's Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, Saudi Aramco. Don't know what that one is. And then Facebook, Berkshire Hathaway. So he's number 8 on top market caps. All of those, besides the Saudi one, I don't know that one,
Yeah.
are tech companies. They invented something.
Yeah.
They've grown. They've put out products, things like that. He's on this top 10 list just by investing. It's so incredible to me. Just and actually, some of the companies that are above him in market cap are some of his holdings. Like Apple is one of his biggest holdings. So I just think that's really cool. But he started investing a long time. He's one of the probably not leaders if you look at people who just are buy, never sell. Market goes up, buy, market goes down, buy. Looks for value stocks, doesn't really try to gamble on the big IPO things, make sure that they're good, solid companies before investing, and people trust him a lot. If you look at, have you guys ever looked at his share prices?
No.
Berkshire A.
So
there's
it's been
two.
a long time since I have.
What do you think the price of one is? Just a random guess. Oh my gosh. So there's two. There's Berkshire A, and then Berkshire A got too expensive for people, so they had to make Berkshire B. So Berkshire A. Wild guess. Per share.
872.
872?
Yeah.
I'm going to say
I'm way under.
Not even close.
I'm going to say 12,000.
Not even close.
Whoa, 26,000.
50.
Up. No. Up.
80.
Up.
Per
Yeah.
107. Oh, 300. A million.
700,000. 642.
Close. 706,000 today
What?
per share. Isn't that
I
incredible?
said 800.
I knew that was too
When
low,
I said
but
800, I meant 800,000.
800,000. You were close. Berkshire B is 471. So that's
Wow.
the more retail. It's
Yeah.
attainable.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Whoa.
which is just like a cool thing. I like to look
It is
at it.
really
like
cool.
one day it's going to be probably $1 million a share,
It's
which would
really
just be a
cool.
cool day. So
I think
shout out
if,
to Warren Buffett.
yeah, just in a sales pitch line, Warren Buffett is the person that you want to kind of hold as your example for how to invest.
Yeah,
if you're
long-term
looking at
investing.
how
Mhm.
do I invest, do it Warren Buffett's way. Just,
Yep.
yeah, like you said, buy. Don't try to time the market.
Yeah.
Live within your means.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
inspiring just on like in participating in a market. Like, I think that's just really cool.
Yeah.
What that can do.
Do
you guys want to get into some specifics like market cap? I know you
I think we should
mentioned
get into
that.
market cap.
Yeah. I take it away. Or Ashton, I don't know if you want to jump in.
Do you want to define market cap?
Sure. So when you're looking at market cap, you have mega, large, small, or mid, then small cap. And
I wonder what the boundaries are for those. Do you know them off the top of your
ooh,
head?
actually, we had
Not off
that.
the top of my
I know
head.
we did a market minute that had those exact numbers.
Keep going.
Anyways,
I'll find
so
them.
like evaluation of a company, their total valuation, if it's, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but Isaac will pull that up in
I'm
a
almost
second.
there.
That's how they basically classify if you're a small cap, anywhere in that whole range. Isaac, you want
I got
to
it.
spit out the values?
Small cap, if your market cap is between 250 million and 2 billion,
Yeah.
Okay.
anything under 250 million is called micro cap.
Yeah.
And there's mid cap, which is 2 billion to 10 billion.
Yep.
Large cap is 10 billion to 200 billion, and then mega cap is anything over 200 billion.
Wow.
Crazy.
All right.
It's crazy that micro cap is anything under
250
250
million.
250
Oh,
million.
you're
Yeah,
tiny.
you're so small.
That's crazy. So yeah, it's just the basically total value of all of that company's shares.
Yeah, shares outstanding
Yeah.
times stock price.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way just to measure companies' values
Yeah.
on a standardized
Yeah.
scale, and that's how you get things like the Nasdaq, the Dow, the S&P, because those are groupings of small cap stocks, mega cap stocks, mid cap stocks, stuff like that.
Yeah, so back to this list of sorted by caps. If you look at number one is Apple, and their market cap is $3.47 trillion. And then Microsoft is at 3, and then NVIDIA actually kind of is probably newer to this list at 2.9, and then it just dwindles quickly. Berkshire obviously hit $1 trillion at 8, and then
So that puts them in mega cap.
they are.
Over 200.
Oh, they've been. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
they've been
been.
in it.
Their
Oh, they've been-
mega
they've
cap
been
is
in it.
200 billion.
Billion. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're way above that.
Sorry about that.
I'm trying to see.
It's hard to even comprehend
That's so much.
200 billion to $1 trillion. Like, it's hard to even comprehend what
Yeah.
that
Well, yeah. If you look at
means.
like
Tangibly
Yeah.
means.
Berkshire Hathaway, $1 trillion market cap, and then you look at Microsoft, which is a $3 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, like 1 to 3, that's close, and it's like no,
No.
it's not.
Not at
It's
all.
not
Close
even
at
close.
all.
not at all. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You talked about Warren Buffett meeting this $1 trillion. So his company Berkshire Hathaway is a mega cap, and you mentioned the difference between small cap, mid cap, like all the different on the scale. Talk about like how investing in those with your portfolio matters. Like, why does it matter if you have exposure to small cap? Why does it matter if you have exposure
Yeah.
to mid cap or mega cap? Like, what's the difference as far as how it's going to impact your portfolio growth or risk, or like, let's talk kind of through that stuff practically.
Yeah.
That's great.
So if you are, diversification is one of the, priorities when
Absolutely.
creating an investment portfolio. And the reason for that is because in different periods of economic cycles, expansion, all of that, trough, yeah. I hate saying that word, trough.
Go Hogs.
What did you just say?
you say?
Go Hogs.
Always bringing it back to football.
I love it.
Anyways, in each one of those different segments of the cycle, different caps of companies or different sectors are going to perform better than others.
Right.
So, if we go through a cycle where interest rates are super high, well, guess which kind of sector of caps are going to perform better? It's going to be
the
fill
larger
the blank.
ones.
It's going to be larger ones
It-
because small caps, if interest rates are high, they're going to have a harder time getting loans and doing stuff that pushes their day-to-day business cycles.
Yeah.
But in periods where it's the opposite, that increases their rate of growth exponentially. And so if you're invested in, a spread of mega, mid, small caps, you're going to have, diversification. You're going to have balance when the economy is having harder times, when the economy is soaring, because, you just don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, and each, I guess, sector performs well in one environment versus the other.
Yeah, that was great. I like the talking about small caps, like access to capital is so important for them for research and development to make better products. So when high interest rates come out, like these tech companies, the Magnificent Seven, have been thriving because they just have cash to do whatever they want.
Right.
They don't have to go borrow money to do things.
Right.
It's been interesting. I've been listening to, as we're in an environment where interest rates are coming down, kind of getting a better understanding of how money in the market works. And whenever you see stocks go down, my first thought was always like, oh, people are taking money out. But if you look at kind of like a broad scale, it's more reallocating that money.
Yeah.
And so a couple weeks ago, we saw a huge decline in these big tech stocks, and then a huge run up of some small mid cap stocks. And it's people like money. I don't know what word defines this. I'm going to say rarely leaves the market. It just moves.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can see actually in periods where large cap stocks are having struggles, it's actually most of the time people are just moving their money into something else. And that's where those mid and smaller caps kind of thrive a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that was a great question.
Yeah, that's great. I think, do you have any practical, let's talk a little bit about the Russell and the NASDAQ and the S&P and kind of what caps do those markets follow?
Yeah, I don't know if we've ever talked about benchmarks on this show.
I don't think we have.
But a benchmark is just being kind of what you can compare your returns to based on what you're in. And so like the Russell 2000 following small cap companies, and if you look at the S&P, more large cap would be what you would compare your returns to. And so it wouldn't make any sense if you were invested in the Apple, Google, whatever, and look at the Russell returns, because it's not they hold completely different companies. It's all small caps, so knowing what you're kind of comparing them to.
Yeah.
And then you can broaden out even, I know like the S&P 400, S&P 1000, like there's a bunch of them that people get into a lot.
Yeah.
I've rarely used them. I'm sure maybe in the future some more, especially as the market's kind of broadening out. So they say. I feel like we've been saying that for like a year now.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of different benchmarks, and I've had clients that are looking at the wrong one, and they'll be kind of upset with their performance. And it's like, well, that's actually not a fair comparison at all to what you're actually invested in.
I think that's a huge key, because if let's say I'm a stock picker and I pick these stocks that are small cap, and I go talk to my advisor or whatever, and I'm like, hey, the S&P is up 7.5% and I'm up 2%. What are you doing wrong? Why? And it's, well, if you look at the Russell, or if you just look at the Dow or anything like that, maybe that's only up 3%, and there you go, there's your answer. And I feel like even meeting with clients, it's a huge thing of, well, let's look at what you're actually allocated to, and then look at the appropriate benchmark for that. Because a lot of people just think S&P 500 is the standard benchmark for if I'm invested. And that's incorrect.
You're in a 70% bond portfolio.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at the S&P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of the easier things to understand just from like an outsider's perspective. You can get a grasp on, okay, these companies are large cap, even if you don't fully understand this is what a large cap means. Like this is the definition and this is how it plays out. But knowing the S&P is mostly large cap and the Russell is mostly small. So as you're investing or you're making decisions or you're sitting with your advisor or planner or whoever, you can grasp like, okay, I'm invested in this. Or you can say, hey, I want to be exposed to every cap, or I only want to be exposed to one kind of cap. And, diversify your portfolio depending on that. Yeah, and I think, not to like put a nice bow on it, but Warren Buffett has exposure to probably every kind of cap, but he's also invested and built a company that has reached the mega cap. You know, like it has gotten to a huge place, and I think there's simplicity. Yeah.
I was reading something about him. I'm
in
trying
investing.
To find it. Here it is.
That it doesn't have to be so complicated. It can be as complicated as you want to make it, but it doesn't have to be this like ultra confusing.
Here's Warren Buffett's methodology.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Find low price value. So low price value stocks, so stocks that historically perform well. He's not looking at these like brand new startups.
Yeah.
Making sure that they have a good return on equity, have a good debt to equity ratio, so they're not super in debt for their size, making sure they have solid profit margins. And then I got to find this one sentence I was reading because he waits. Here it is. This is from Investopedia. It says, Buffett advises taking a deep breath and a step back when you find a company in which you want to invest, and he suggests giving the stock time to achieve a reasonable valuation and then move forward when the market corrects. So he may find something that he likes, and then he tells himself to like, okay, sleep on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Which I really like.
Yeah. I feel like
he's not in a huge rush to do anything, non-emotional with it, which is historically like, leave your money invested, let the market do what the market does. It's very...
I think that's memorable. A good kind of rule of thumb for anything. Even, you know, as simple as if I'm shopping and I see something that I like and I'm like, I don't know if I want to buy it. My mom's always just like, well, go home. If you are thinking about it tomorrow, come back and get it.
Yeah, you still want it in the morning.
Yeah. But one of my kind of favorite quotes or methodology, whatever, from Warren Buffett is he said, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Or that's... the actual quote. Oh yeah,
I kind of like that.
The actual quote is risk comes from not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to take a step in investing, you know, the biggest piece of advice is just do your research. And you don't have to fully understand every inch of how the market works or you don't have to understand every term, you know, or anything like that, but don't just go into it blindly. Don't just throw your money at something, or even if you do, you know, invest in someone like a financial advisor or financial planner who does know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And I think, I really like that quote because, you know, everything has risk, but you're going to acquire more risk if you just are like, whatever, I don't know what I'm doing, but
I'll do it anyways.
Yeah.
That sounds like gambling.
So it does. Yeah, exactly. But do you have a favorite Warren Buffett quote?
Oh no,
I found it's not a quote, but I think they're putting words in his mouth. But it says, "Pick businesses, not stocks."
Well, there you go.
I like that.
Yeah.
Like if you believe in the business.
I like that. I was just literally scrolling the internet.
Yeah.
I'll go back through and really, really think on it, but I like this one a lot. Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago.
That's good.
I like that.
That's a good one.
You know what I like about that is it doesn't say someone planted a tree yesterday. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I feel like
it takes a long time.
I feel like that definitely is a Warren Buffett quote because that just is
Big
so
time.
hand in hand with investing that you're not going to see the returns tomorrow. You're going to see them.
And also just like life in general.
Yeah.
You know what's almost as motivating as Warren Buffett?
What?
No.
Bees.
Oh. Bees.
Honeybees.
Bees.
Look, they don't ask for any credit. They pollinate. They give us honey.
True.
I love honey.
They were at one point they were dying at an alarming rate.
They were.
And the world freaked out.
Are they still?
I don't know. I stopped paying attention, but for a while.
Are the bees
Sorry,
still
bees.
dying?
Sorry,
the
bees.
bees.
Are the bees are good. Save the bees. The bees are fine. Everything's great. But I had a coach one time. They gave me another quote that I'm going to use because I was an offensive lineman and we're typically larger than most people. And
You don't say.
You don't, right? You see me in this chair. And he said, there is scientifically no way that bees should be able to fly if you take the size of their body and compare it to the size of their wings. But no one told the bees. That's it. That's all I got. I'm locking eye contact, though.
True. They're still flying.
They're still flying.
They are.
A dog's still a dog when it's sick.
Dog.
Bees are still flying.
Oh my gosh.
I bet bees are bees when they're sick, too.
They definitely are. We need a running tab of your coach. You need to just call him up and be like, hey,
You got
can you
anything
run through
good
your
for me?"
brain and find every single thing that you've ever said?
That's good.
I love it.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today for No Dumb Questions. We will be back next time.
Yeah. I
don't-
don't know what we're talking about
I
yet.
don't know.
But
Make
we're
sure
talking
you
about it.
tell
but-
Warren Buffett happy birthday.
Yeah,
Tell
tell
Warren
Warren
Buffett
Buffett
happy
happy birthday. Yeah.